welcome back to the Living Room Chat podcast with Matt, Ryan, and our special guest here today, Mr. Chris Gray. Hey.
So, episode 20, Matt, we finally made it.
I think that puts us in like the top, 2% of podcasts.
Let's call it top 1%.
Stat. Yeah,
we're top getting 1%.
We're podcast famous.
We literally
Almost.
are now. Yeah. We made this. We've had a challenge to get our first 2 done. Then it was 10. Then it was 20, and we've got a target of doing 40 podcasts by the end of the year.
Easy.
We're
not even halfway through the year yet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're going to smash it.
So we're on target. But we're here in Avocado HQ for Avocado's 3rd birthday.
Happy birthday, Avocado.
Happy birthday, Avocado. So we called in. Chris is the first agent. We're calling in off of the streets or from the office.
I'm the only one who's not drunk.
Well, no, we're not drunk. It's only like 3 o'clock, isn't it?
But
still time.
I think you were one of the first agents, weren't you, in Avocado?
I think I was 5th. I think I was 5th in.
Okay.
Back in the day, nearly 3 years ago. It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you're in about 2.5 years in now?
Yeah, just over 2.5 years.
Amazing.
So, yeah, it's been a baptism of fire, but it's been awesome. Yeah. But hard work. It's not as easy as I think sometimes we make it look through the channels of social media. But yeah, it's hard work, isn't it? But
absolutely,
good fun.
You work fucking hard as well.
I don't know, everyone does.
Every time I
break
go
the
on,
algorithm already. You break the algorithm.
Right,
I'm swearing already. Go on, mate. Carry on.
Chris does work hard though.
He does work fucking hard, yeah.
I try.
And every day is beat the portals.
Every day is beat the portals.
But I think maybe that's what you mean, like perception on social media.
But you can be very clever with social media. You can make yourself look mega busy.
Yeah.
But that's not the object of the exercise. The object of the exercise is to show what we're up to, because you don't see that with
I think
other agents.
We talked about it a lot. It's really difficult to become authentic on social media because you show, like us as self-employed estate agents, we do show our full self, but there's still would you say there's a little bit you hold back? How much of Chris is actually that on social media?
All of it.
You're 100%.
Yeah, no, genuinely, I talk the same now as when I'm on film, whether it's a property video, whether it's a Beat the Portals, a live video, a podcast. You know, it's
awesome.
I'm me. You know, I'm just the grumpy shit.
I really do think that's what separates a lot of the Avocado agents from everyone else out there. And they're cool doing their thing, and that's up to them. But just being your authentic self and being there for the client is just cool, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's exhausting to do it any other way, right?
Otherwise you're not being you, are you? So, and I think the beauty of our setups is that we are fully exposed. We really put ourselves out there, and we did that from day one.
Yeah,
and it's become our thing. You will never ever see anything on my socials saying, I've just sold this property over another estate agent who couldn't sell it in 12 weeks, and therefore I am the best agent. You will never ever see
Just quickly delete my last post.
You'll never see a right move pie chart saying I'm number 1 in the area. And I tell you, I've got a dear friend of mine, love him to bits, and he's an agent, but he keeps bragging about, we're number 2 in the area. I don't give a about. I honestly, I don't care.
You can swear on this. It has a little E on podcast.
I couldn't give a flying fuck. If I'm really honest, sorry for the expletives if children are watching, hopefully they're not, but I just don't care for that. I'm more concerned about what I'm doing. I don't care what anyone else outside of our brand does, and that is just
it's a good way to be. Good way to be.
I remember you made a really good point in the last content day about us not slagging off other agents so much, and that's something I've done quite a lot, but I really liked your point because it doesn't really matter what anyone else is doing.
I think we've said it a few, because a few of us, and maybe even I've done it in some time in the last 2.5 years where I did. There was one post where I sold a house on a bank holiday Monday, and the little fishing line at the end of it was what was your agent doing today? And it's just like, a friend actually pointed me out to it saying that's crap, and it's like, it actually is.
It's not needed, really, is it?
It's not needed. Well done, you've sold a house on bank holiday Monday. Who really gives a toss?
But it's your decision to work on bank holiday Monday.
Yeah, of course it is. It's completely mine, and same whatever other days we work that are national holidays and stuff. But that thing, it's a real gripe of mine, is hearing anyone, whether it's anyone within our ranks, that's slagging off an agent or someone else. I hate it. I just hate it.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you, mate.
And you know what? It's where I am around, particularly around Camberley, which is my bread and butter, and where I'm born and bred. It's the relationships I have with most of the agents is really good, really good. You know, I won't name drop them. Actually, no, I would, because I think they're bloody good firms. Jigsaw and Camberley, great couple of guys. Known them for years, Chris and Dave. They're friends, and if they drive down the road when they see one of my boards down, they'll send me a message. Oh, Chris, your board's down, and likewise. And
it's nice, isn't it?
This is how this business should be. I tell you what, any agent running around, slagging other firms off, you're a twat. I'm sorry, you are. Because no one wants to hear it.
Wasn't expecting that.
I mean, you're not
pregnant.
That's just you know what I'm like. I go off on a rant. I promise I'll try not to do it on your podcast. But
we've only got like 8 minutes.
Okay, fine. All right, we'll wrap it up.
You're doing about 8 minutes, aren't you? Or is that a bit of exaggeration?
That's way over. 8 minutes. That's not a marathon.
So I think. So just sorry to cut you off there, because I think in terms of this 20th episode of our podcast, it's a special day. Obviously, as an Avocado brand that we're 3 years old, we're really keen to hear some cool stories from you. So we're basically saying to everyone that's going to come in, we want one of your best stories about being a estate agent, or one of your worst, or one of the funniest. And as I've said it, I think I know what one of the funniest stories was. You can talk about it if you want. But
last week on my live.
Slip up on Beat the Portals.
We'll do that one in a minute.
But over to you.
First. Got a couple of funny moments. I worked with a guy many years ago, bless his heart, what a legend of a man. And for those that have been around, I have quite a while, a chap called Andrew Corley. He's retired now. Happy retirement that day. And he was a nightmare, bless him. Super old school estate agent, but a bloody good one.
Yeah.
But he was a little bit forgetful. He was a little bit of a bimbo, shall we say? Not the right word to use, but he once came back to the office wearing someone else's shoes. And I were
sellers.
Sellers phoned up saying, Andy's got my shoes on. And he's gone, oh, so I have. Andy, can we take the man his shoes back? Which was that was classic Andy.
Was there not a deliberative ploy there to go back and get the contract signed?
I mean, bloody good one if it was, wasn't it? Because really he did get back out there, and he did get that business. It was just Andy, bless his heart.
Have you ever been on a vow where you've had to go, you've taken your shoes off in the house and you've had to go to the garden, you end up wearing some of the owners'
Crocs?
I was going to say in Reading especially, but I'm sure other places are available. They often give you sandals to put on.
Yeah.
Oh, I put my sandals on. You got this wretched old
I never felt.
I was like, nah, you're all right. I just take my socks off, actually, mate.
Yeah.
Or go and get my shoes.
I think we've all done that at some point, haven't we? But there was another one once actually. I was working in Fleet. In Hampshire for my original agent, and there was a couple, and I won't say where, but they were a certain way inclined as a couple, and it became quite clear when we were showing people around, because they loved their house, they were great at showing people around it, but a little bit too great. And in their bathroom, let's just say their bathroom had, it wasn't a jacuzzi, but it was the size of one, and it was a 4-person bath. You can probably see the way this is going. And when they would sort of take over the viewing, they would open the door up and say, "And welcome to the social club," and pause, and wait for the reaction. See if there's a click there to see whether that's, oh, is that your thing? Yeah. And that was mega awkward.
That imagine.
You could literally cut the atmosphere with.
So you were back there Saturday night with most Saturdays.
Yeah, hell yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I lived there. I bought the house. I didn't. Not that way inclined.
This is the social club.
But and it was bless it. It was a funny one, that one, but just awkward. And yes, obviously there was my faux pas last week when on a live.
1 second, let's just put it on the screen now.
A 5-piece bathroom, so good old-fashioned BJ. Oh my god, I can't believe I just said that. Very innocent mistake, It was a classic live. We've got this coming on the market, and it was just, I'm sorry, I think it was an easy mistake to make. Obviously I meant to say bidet. Which is obviously, those of you know old enough to know what bidet is. I don't need to explain what it does.
It's a little sink to wipe your arsehole.
It's not a word you use a lot, right?
So it's not. I mean, okay, to be fair, I probably use the other word more than I use bidet. So let's just say that's probably what happened.
God, I wish I fucking did. Oh shit, Laura's coming on in a minute. Don't tell her that. Don't tell her that.
Make sure she's not editing this one. Anyway, innocent mistake, wasn't it? But do you know what?
It was so funny.
The traction that got was bloody brilliant. It was a genuine mistake, and I think you can see that by my reaction of, of panic as I just literally said that live.
And the thing is, on a live on Facebook, you can't stop, can you? Like if something goes wrong, you can't just say, you just have to brush it off and move on, which you did really professionally, I have to say.
I mean, I think
it was
I winged it
fucking
all right,
hilarious.
It was fun. Then literally, but I had three clients literally within minutes saying, how much is the BJ house? Or how much for a BJ, one of them. So it's just like, oh God. But yeah, look,
did your clients see it? Did the actual sellers?
That's what my client said. Oh no, the actual clients, I don't think they did. But actually saying that, to be fair, we've solved that one in 3 days. So yeah, it's done now, hopefully. So maybe it was that they did it.
Amazing.
Who knows?
Amazing stuff.
Maybe we were luring them to the property on false pretenses of getting not a B-day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's some good stories though. I love that shoe story. That's quite funny actually, to be fair.
Yeah, that's what's great about our job though, isn't it? You never know when you're going to be walking home in someone else's shoes.
I mean, I've never done it myself, but
You've been waiting to say that for about 5 minutes, haven't you?
Yeah, I was just saving that up.
Yeah, it's written on your arm, isn't it?
Yeah.
But no, I love what we do, and it's not the easiest job in the world, and if it was, everyone would do it. But I think we've got a wicked bunch of people here, and I think we've all contributed to creating something that there's nothing else like this. Yes, there are other bespoke models, but they're not like this.
Yeah, it hasn't got the same vibe, is it?
No,
totally agree.
Definitely not. But I think people that genuinely love what they're doing have a bit of fun with it, and also do it with a bit of flair. I think that if I could sum up, that the kind of people that I think we all are, but we're all very different at the same time, But at the same time, it just works.
Well, he's just made the perfect reel, hasn't he?
Yeah, nice.
There we go. We'll cut
get
that
some
up.
content
that up, buddy. Chris, really appreciate you joining us as a guest one of this. Is it a bumper? We're still doing half an hour or 45 minutes?
I don't know what this is called.
It's
episode 20 special.
Can I go get some food now?
You can go get some food and grab a beer.
Have a beer. Not too much.
Cheers, Chris. Thanks, mate.
Someone else in as well, and then we'll cut.
Get Carl in.
Next. Drum roll. Guess number.
Oh, not that loud, mate.
Look at those waveforms you just did with that.
Take two, right? Oh. Yeah. Cool. So that was Chris Gray. I think it was a good chat with him. Actually, he's quite a funny guy, isn't he? Does talk very, very quickly.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
He does. But someone who talks equally as quickly and does have a lot to say is our special guest number 2, Mr. Kiel Holder. Hey! Welcome to the Living Room Chat podcast. We've been threatening getting you on for a while, and it's just never worked out, has it?
Just
so here you are.
Here we are.
So we're in episode 20. Yeah. This is our bonus episode. Obviously, it's Avocado birthday. Before we get a few of the partners in, talk about some cool stuff, have a beer. Have a chill.
I know I left mine out there somewhere, but
that's fine, mate. You can just do the talking, then we'll just drink.
Well, nice. I feel like you've been here for a while, but how long has your business been rocking and rolling?
So officially, I have been rocking and rolling since March this year. So
2 months.
Yeah, so 2 months feels like a lot longer.
Because you've been around. Oh, you can say it now because you're not with your old company anymore, but you've been around the mix for probably 6 months or so. October, November, even more than that. October, November last year, when it was kind of like revealed that Kyle was joining the crew.
That was it.
I was so used to seeing the cutout of your head on the profile picture, but when you launched, I was like, yeah, he's real.
Yeah, this is him.
That's it.
This is the guy. So how's your first couple of months been, mate?
It's just been, I mean, the market is unreal at the moment, isn't it? And it's just been, some bits I'm like, oh yeah, I've forgotten. That's how I do that, and that's how I do this, but it's also like I've never been away.
Yeah,
and it's just
because you took because obviously you worked in an agency for quite a while.
Yeah,
took a little bit of a gap,
break,
did something else, and then you come back to it. The love of estate agencies brought you back into the fold.
It's like a bad ex-girlfriend, and I just can't stay away. Here I am.
There we go.
Did you leave though? Because you were
need to cut that.
Oh mate, anything goes on this pod.
It's all fine. Did you leave because you were like, fuck agency,
100%,
corporate world,
literally, it just wasn't working.
Why? What were the reasons behind you leaving?
It's just where I was at the time. It just constantly wanted blood. I remember, even though you had scheduled days off, you never had a day off.
Right,
it was your weekend off. It was never your weekend off. And I remember, like, my longest stint I think was 42 days straight. I was in the office. I was doing viewings, and it was great at the time that I thought the money was good. On reflection, I've now come to realise
700 quid after tax wasn't very good, was it?
No, how terrible it really was. And you thought you were a hero, and it was great helping all of these people, but on reflection there was no work-life balance whatsoever. I was exhausted, to say the least. I lived off of coffee. I don't think I had anything else. I dread to think what my insides look like from the years in agency before. Probably not much better now, but it got to a point where I looked at people, I looked at my friends, I looked at family who actually enjoyed weekends and time together, and I thought, well, if I want a family, I can't do this anymore. Well, I could, but it would definitely be a divorce, and I'd never see my kid, and that's not what I wanted for my life. So and then all of this happened with Avocado. And
so is it fair to say that, mate, that it's not necessarily the estate agency drew you back in, it was more of the company and 100%. What you saw from, big up Avocado, because obviously that's what we're talking about in this episode, but brought that back to, right, actually that's something I can see myself doing. I've got the work-life balance, I'm running my own business, it's something I can really put my teeth into.
Yes, massively. It's
amazing.
From a financial perspective, you're not, like, the money's not disappearing into someone else's pocket for all of the hours you're putting in. I can manage my own diary. I get to take my son to nursery and pick him up from nursery, and there's no pressure, because I'm also like, well, a lot of my clients are also parents, so it's not that I'm missing out on business and doing viewings, because I can make myself available in the evening once he's asleep, so nothing's lost. And actually in the evenings the house is quieter, so I can, in terms of work, get a lot more done at those times than obviously during the day when he's at nursery.
It's great. It's a great way of looking at it, actually working around your own. There's 24 hours in a day, isn't there?
Massive.
And you get to use the ones that are most applicable for your side of the business, which is perfect. So.
And it's not Monday to Friday 9 to 5. No one's life is 9 to 5. It just
those days
doesn't
are gone,
work.
aren't they? They're long gone.
Yeah, massively.
I think that's really cool, though, for you having left agency in one form and now coming back to it in a new form. I think that's what it's all about, isn't it?
And it's exciting because I get to be me. There are sort of no bars held. Like, I can literally
be your authentic self.
Yeah, I can be myself. I'm not going to get in trouble for being myself. Like, the clients love it. It's great.
That's so funny. It's exactly what Chris said a minute ago. It's just about being yourself and owning it. And I saw a LinkedIn post the other day about agents proving their value or demonstrating their value, and this pie chart says one thing, and how you're meant to demonstrate your value to clients. And actually what I'm finding more and more is it's just about, does the client fucking like you?
That's ultimately it, isn't it?
Literally.
We all know we're going to do a good job when we get the keys, when we get the listing, and it's taken care of, but can the client tolerate you for 6 months?
And that's the reality. And I think being your authentic self in that, I've talked about this on the pod before, I got a little bit apprehensive about going out with short sleeve t-shirts and my tattoos out, but the last 6 weeks, and fortunately it's been a really successful 6 weeks for us, I've just been rocking it. Like, I don't like, if people don't like me because of me, why am I covering stuff up? That's me. I looked how successful Dan and Neil were, and saw obviously their tattoos. I thought, well, clearly people don't care. So anyway, but it's about being, as you said, coming back to it, authentic in yourself, because you can put that across to the client. If they don't want to use you, they don't want to use you. It's cool. No dramas.
And I guess some people are always going to want their suit and tie.
There'll always be that percentage of clients, but I think the world is changing very, very quickly. And actually, people turning up with slick back hair and a suit that doesn't fit them and a white BMW, that's not the vibe that a lot of people want.
No.
From my perspective, anyway.
No, I think now that there's another option and people realise there is another way, people are now realising that's not what they want. Because before, that was it. It was a suit. You went to a fishbowl office. You didn't have a choice. But Avocado's changed the industry with that. And we're constantly changing the industry with every bit of.
And I think a lot of the self-employed models that are adopting a similar strategy and business structure are going to be the future of the business. Obviously Avocado is great for us and we love it where we are in Berkshire, Hampshire, Surrey. But other models will be doing the same thing. It's just good for the industry. It's just going to create a better industry ultimately.
And it just shows that we are human. We're not some sort of super power in a suit. Like we're just people like you. So it helps. I find when I'm out on evaluation.
Just now superpower in your own clothes.
Yeah, that's it. So I was saying to go shopping, buy some more clothes. But when you're sat there in someone's living room or someone's kitchen, you're just having a conversation with them. You don't necessarily feel like an estate agent anymore. You just feel like a person.
No, I totally agree.
One person discussing and sharing how you're going to help another person, which is ultimately, I think, why we're all here as well.
Spot on, mate. Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah.
So You go. I did it. You did.
Well, I think we were segueing into what we were here to do is we're going to ask everyone questions about horror stories or funny stories or just good moments from your agency career before. Is there anything that pops up as like a particularly weird or funny or happy or just an amazing moment that you want to tell us about?
So
like Chris had a moment where, was it him or someone he worked with came home in the vendor's shoes, but put on the vendor's shoes by accident leaving the appointment.
Listen back to the pod, Kyle, the first 20 minutes, and you'll hear it. It's a good story. Anyway, over to you, mate.
No, definitely. I'm trying to think if I ever worn anyone else's shoes from a viewing. No, probably not. But like a happy story for me, I think it sort of takes it way back now to 2011, and it was ultimately on the day of completion of my first ever sale, and it was handing the keys over to the new owners. Having been there, in the office, having been there with them through every stage of the process. And it was just like when the day finally came to be able to make the phone call to them, to hear the excitement in their voice, and to have it was Mr. Mrs. and little and I think the kid was probably about 4. I feel old because the kid's going to be much older than 4 now if it's 2011, but it was having them come into the office and handing them the keys and still remembering like the address. I won't reveal the number, but it was over in Turin Drive in Bracknell. It was a 3-bed detached, which at the time was 250, which is terrifying now to think. And I'm pretty sure they're still there because I keep tabs on it every now and then, and it hasn't.
It's a bit stalkery.
Yeah, but
no,
it's your first sale.
But it's good.
I was going to say no one needed to know, but now everyone knows.
What was your first sale?
24 Beecham Road.
Flat 3, number 4, Drake Way, Kent Island.
Oh wow, Drake Way. Okay.
Yeah, one bed.
That must have been early days.
2008.
Right,
2009.
okay. Yeah.
They'd literally been in 2 years and lost 30 grand. But anyway, doesn't matter about that.
Yeah, bad times. This one obviously didn't lose any money, but that's definitely a happy feeling that I always carry with me, and it always reminds me why I do what I do and how I got into it.
Good man.
I've always wanted to help people,
love it.
But ultimately in this world, it's one thing helping people, but it turns out you also need to be able to make money to survive, to be able to help more people in a weird way. So we are in the estate agency.
There we go, mate. Excellent. Got a funny story for us quickly, or
a funny story? I can give you a sad story.
No. This is all about the positive vibes. I'll give sad stories. Do you want sad stories?
Well, I know it's just hard when you're putting people on the spot. Just like think of the story.
Yeah.
Well, we did give him 10-minute warning.
Yeah, I know, and then I forgot. I carried on drinking my
beer.
beer.
Mate, you tell us a story.
I'll tell you a story. But,
costume change.
Yeah, the costume change. I went and did my hair. I do remember we once were called to a house. It wasn't optional, and we had to go and provide a valuation. But upon arrival, it turned out that the former owner was still inside, and he wasn't taking things too well that day. So there were multiple people on site to assist removing him, but it took a little bit longer, and we needed a clean-up crew beforehand because he'd barricaded himself in there for long enough to be able to cover every wall.
You're gonna go there, aren't you?
We're gonna go there. You know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And he'd covered every wall of every room, every ounce of carpet, fabric, curtains, ceiling, handprints, footprints. We were all thinking this must have taken days.
Yeah.
I won't repeat what it is, but you can gather that
it's basically shit everywhere.
Yeah.
I'll say it for you.
Okay, yeah.
I'm the host. I can do what I want.
Yeah, you can do what you want. But he produced his own paint.
He basically shat everywhere and then rubbed it across the whole entire house.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Walls, ceilings, carpets, the whole lot.
Sorry, and this was his house?
It was formerly his house. He was being removed.
And he was getting divorced or something?
Repossession by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Oh, repossession.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it hadn't gone down too well. Everyone else had gone. Missus had gone. Kids had gone. It was just him. And he went all Art Deco.
Fair enough. All right, cool. It's not really. I don't know.
It wasn't really sad. Probably wasn't that happy.
Bit weird,
but it was a story.
Yeah.
Well, if the bank's going to take my house, they're going to have some cleaning up to do.
They take all my shit with me.
I can't afford the mortgage payment, but what I can do is shit all over the walls. I love it.
But it only took the clean-up crew a couple of hours, to be fair. But it was when we went there. It was like, no, and the smell. Still sold.
I've
everything will sell.
Yeah,
I've got a really very quick, just to finish up with Kyle, a very quick story about Kyle, because I've known this chap a long time.
Oh no, I'm wondering.
And we were going to one of our mates' stag do up in Nottingham, and Kyle was driving his little Corsa, so we were up there. Anyway, Kyle, for a while you've been follically challenged, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's bald. You know, for the audio listeners, you can't see, but you know, like we don't need a light on here with Kyle because it just shines everywhere, which is cool. I'm not making a big thing about it.
Strong beard,
but strong beard actually. Anyway,
and I've trimmed it.
I've still got the photo. It's on my Facebook. I'm going to send it to you to put on the screen now. But we were meeting all these. There's only 4 of us that knew this one guy, and then he had all his other mates there, and we all drove up to meeting in Nottingham. And Kyle rocked out at the petrol station when we all met up as a stop with this massive black wig on.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and everyone was like, "Oh, nice to meet," and he didn't let on until about 15 minutes in. Everyone kind of settled and knew who everyone was. He goes, "Oh, he's so itchy." Took his wig off, and everyone was like, "What the fuck?" Mate, the photo's so good.
That's so good.
It's on the screen now. We can have a look at it.
I've still got that wig somewhere.
Yeah, have you? Anyway, that's my story about Carl.
Cool.
Excellent, mate. Really appreciate you jumping in on short notice and joining the Living Room Chat podcast.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Good. We'll get you back on again. You know, we want more and more guests. Full episode. Dive a little bit deeper, but no, for now, appreciate it, Carl.
No
Thanks
worries.
very
Now
much.
we just need you to bugger off and bring someone else in.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Well, I can do that.
Cheers,
I'll
mate.
start making a list of my funny stories for next time.
Right, and we're back with guest number 3 for the day.
You forgot then how many we've had so far.
I did a little bit. One beer has gone straight to my head. But Ollie, welcome to the Living Room Chat podcast, and
Thank you,
also
lads.
to the Avocado brand.
Thank you very much for having me.
So we're episode 20 now, Ollie,
Okay.
of our podcast, and obviously tying it in with the Avocado birthday.
Yeah.
Got the audio listeners going to get so bored of this. I've said that 3 times now.
Well, they need to grow up and get on YouTube.
Well, YouTubers are going to be the same. Right. It's Avocado anniversary. We thought we'd get a few of the partners in, have a chat about you, and then a couple of questions about some stories you've got in agency, if that's cool with you, mate.
Absolutely fine, buddy.
Amazing.
No
So
worries.
you're the newest Avocado partner?
I am. I'm the latest. Yeah, that's me.
The latest, newest, best, whatever you want to call it.
I'll take all of them, mate. Yeah.
But you've been in agency a long time, haven't you?
Yeah. So my first job out of school was with the Halifax when they still used to have estate agents. And
I didn't think you were that old, mate.
No, yeah. I'm knocking 40 now, bruv. Yeah,
Bloody hell.
So
You're not?
Yeah. 30. I'll turn 38 in March, mate.
Matt's only 25.
I don't think I believe that.
I got ID the other day.
Mate, I got ID for Red Bull.
You're joking?
I'm 32 years old, and you forgot how old I was. Anyway,
Yeah.
You do not look that old.
Oh, well, thanks, mate. I appreciate that. It's very nice of you to say.
Yeah.
So yeah.
45.
So started when I was straight out of school. Absolutely loved it. You know, along the way, tried a couple of other different little things. Tried a bit of car selling and recruitment, as I think
I knew you were going to say recruitment.
as most agents do.
Everyone has a little flirt, don't they, with recruitment?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I've sold the dream.
Yeah.
But I've always sort of navigated back to it, and it's what I really love, to be honest.
It's quite a typical, I think lots of people are like that, right? It's sort of get into it, love the sort of grind and agency culture, but I think, I don't know if you're similar to everyone, the self-employed route just seems like such an obvious next step from...
Oh, 100%. And, you know, I've done sales and lettings in my career, and the sort of the main reason for wanting to do both over that time was to one day be able to do my own thing and then actually have the background in both, so that, you know, I could do both, basically, and I didn't have to rely on other people to you know, sort of bring them on board and have to do, you know, the things. You know, I'm a bit of a control freak, let's put it that way, so I like to know everything about everything to make sure that I can make sure everything's going right for myself and my
How
clients.
have you found the transition? Because obviously we've all been, I mean, Matt and I, we started a couple of weeks apart, well, just about a year ago. Just over a year ago now. So we've been through like the deep dark pits of anxiety and everything that goes wrong with it, and they're super highs when you get your first listing, first sale, first exchange. How have you dealt with the transition from corporate life to running your own business? And we all know, like, when you first start out, you're like, cool, like, what the fuck do I do?
Like, what am I doing?
You put a couple of posts out on social media, you check your new leads, and it's 10 o'clock and you're done. You're like, cool, what do I do now? How have you dealt with that?
Are you in that? Are you in that?
I kind of am. It's I find it really difficult, because not difficult, but strange in the sense that you go from this regimented life of you know 9 till 6, you know, every other Saturday, and so on and so forth. And you know, the first day that I actually wasn't getting my corporate gear on to go to work, I really liked it. You know, I was like, wow, this is amazing. And you know, there's obviously so much to do when you're setting up the business. There's all the stuff you've got to do with the, you know, AML and, you know, all that kind of boring stuff. And so there's been a lot of learning, there's been a lot of reading, which I think has kept my kind of mind active otherwise. And trying to use these video editing softwares, you know, before you lads pulled me in here, whether or not you knew, that's what I was out there doing. And I'm so glad I got the support of the guys in HQ, because I'd be lost otherwise. But yeah, it's there have been points during the process where I have kind of sat there thinking, am I doing enough? You know, am I doing too much? Because a lot of the reason for wanting to go down the self-employed route was to get that work-life balance. You know, 2 young kids, you want to spend more time with them, and, you know, begrudgingly spend a bit more time with the missus, you know, that kind of thing, right?
Make sure she doesn't listen to it.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell her about this one. So, yeah, it's been very difficult, but I'm loving it. It's just a really joyful, new, fresh experience, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I love it. It's just thinking back to when we started now, it's, you know, I think most people, there is like a figuring out period. You know, are you doing enough? Are you doing too much? And there's no one to tell you.
No, I think the first month or so is like, it's just a high because it's new, it's fresh, and you've got money in the bank to support your life, and you don't really worry too much. And then it's when it just drags on month 3, 4, 5, and you're like, then you have other things that come into play. I mean, we've obviously talked over the podcast over the last year about everything we've been through. I think it's what's nice about the business we're in now is there's 31 other people before you that have gone through exactly what you're going through.
Absolutely.
And the support network is fantastic, and there's always people around. That's the great thing about it.
And that's not what I was really expecting, because obviously, you know, it's a self-employed estate agency model, and, you know, my sort of, you know, rightly or wrongly, my kind of thought on it was that you're going to come in and, you know, you're going to ask questions, and people are going to be too busy. You know, they're going to have their own things going on, which I quite, you know, appreciate and respect. But actually, it's not been like that at all. The support net mechanisms, you know, just from people just like literally and genuinely saying, look, give us a call, like, you know, and literally. You know, I have made calls and just been like, look, what would you do here? Or like, you know, with Chris, literally yesterday I had like 4 hours between viewings, so I was like, what are you up to, mate? Do you need any help with anything? He was like, actually, I need the camera holding. Great. So when we would go back to his little office afterwards, and, you know, just bouncing ideas and chatting, and you know, and I really appreciated the time that he gave me. You know, which, you know, obviously everyone's busy, so it goes a long way.
I think it does, and it's good. I think it's good to be in an environment, whether it's the Avocado model or any other business model. I think what makes us a little bit different, and I'm sure other people at similar models will say exactly the same, but that kind of family feel, you know, that camaraderie between the partners it's something you won't really expect to see until you actually are part of the family.
Yeah.
And
I think it's helped with that sort of loneliness aspect as well, because obviously going, you know, 5-6 days a week with a group of guys that you're bouncing with all the time, and you kind of go into the self-employed model, and you obviously don't have that anymore. So, you know, obviously our group chat's always pinging with funny things going on it, and it's even little things like that, even though it's like a virtual means of everyone communicating, it's sort of, you still feel like you're involved.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
That's the beauty of it.
So, as I said at the start, episode 20 for us, this is a big milestone for our podcast life, and we, being the Avocado birthday, we want to get people in and obviously talk about cool stories. So have you got a story that jumps either funny, good agency, bad agency, weird agency, anything of your agency life? We'd love to hear.
Okay, so being put on the spot, I think the one I'd probably go with is the time that I absolutely stacked it down the stairs. I was on evaluation in Warfield. It was a big 4-bed house, nice big sort of sweeping staircase that sort of goes down and around. I'm at the top of the stairs. Mister's ahead of me. Mrs. is behind me. We're just chatting away, getting on really well. And I've been turned my head to chat to her. Completely missed the top step. I have gone all the way down, right, literally tumbling down their stairs. I get to the bottom and I'm this mess at the bottom of the stairs, right? And they're going, "Oh my god!" And luckily, Mister had made it down the stairs, because otherwise I would have taken him out like a bowling pin. But I get to the bottom, and the first thing I do is I just worried that I damaged their house. You know, like, have I broken something? Have I put my elbow through the plasterboard? You know. So I get to the bottom of the stairs, and they come rushing. They're like, "Oh my god, are you okay? Are you okay?" And I sort of got up and I'm, "Don't worry about me. Is your house all right? I hope I haven't broken or damaged anything."
Can I still sell it?
And literally, and funnily enough, you know, they probably felt sorry for me, but they signed up. So
I'm going to try that next round. Fall down the stairs.
See how it works for you, mate. Yeah, definitely.
Stairs, I wouldn't recommend that person.
Well, anything to get the listing.
Just be your authentic self, and it will come to you.
Yeah, clumsy falling down the stairs.
Mate, so did you hurt yourself? You're okay though?
No, I was all right. It was just my ego was a bit bruised, mate. That's all. So
man, that's the worst. It sounds fucking painful though. Not many people make it.
Do you know what? It literally happened in a flash. Like, and the fact that I went down and round the stairs as well, like, you know, I just
could just picture that, just fucking Ollie just jumping and down.
With my suit, my presenter flying up in the air, like paperwork.
All your pie charts all everywhere,
all my right move stats up in the air. So, no, it was... it was a very embarrassing moment in my life. But I think that the fact that they signed up afterwards really, kind of helped sort of heal the ego. Let's put it that way.
It'd be the worst if they didn't. Can you imagine going through that? Like, sorry, we've gone with someone else. Like, what?
I
broke my arm for you.
Yeah, they were literally running down the stairs thinking, shit, what if he's hurt himself? We're going to get sued here.
Well, I'm thinking, I've damaged something, I'm going to get sued. So that's what I sort of jumped up. I'll be like, is everything okay? But no, they were good as gold. Lovely couple they were, to be fair. So,
awesome.
Yeah, it was all good.
No, it's good to hear. That's a good story.
Made for a good story as well.
Yeah,
we're going to have to judge the stories at the end, and when everyone leaves, we'll just listen. Well, thank you for listening to the podcast.
Yeah.
Our favourite story was this.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Maybe.
I look forward to hearing you saying it's my one, mate.
Yeah, it was good fun. Nice one. Well, mate, really appreciate you jumping in. Joining us in the podcast. We'll definitely get you back on.
Appreciate it.
We've got a target doing 40 by the end of the year, so we've got plenty of episodes.
Mate.
I enjoy it more with guests on as well.
Mate, there's so much
Not
more.
that I don't enjoy talking to you.
I enjoy talking to you, mate. I think we get on really well, and we've got this natural like connection, and we work really well together. But sometimes you need some more flair from people, don't you?
Yeah, just some new ideas,
Absolutely. There we go.
Good lads.
Thanks, Ollie. Appreciate it, mate.
I appreciate it, and I look forward to coming back on.
I need to
we'll get you back soon.
Episode 4. Before 4th.
Someone else on?
Yeah, I'll get someone else in.
Yeah, all right.
Should we get one more in, or should we be done?
Let's get one more in. Do you want to grab me a beer? Coming in? Right, guest number 4 today of the 3rd Avocado birthday party. I'd like to welcome Mr. Dan Salisbury.
How are we doing, all right?
Yo.
Good, Dan.
Good.
So we've started by asking people just a little bit of background on their agency, but obviously you were literally one of the first partners to join Avocado, like nearly, you're about 2.5 years in now, aren't you?
Yeah, 2.5 years. We're on our 3rd year this year. So our 3rd year ends in September.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It's fair to say it's been a fucking whirlwind for you guys, isn't it?
It's been mental.
Yeah.
It's just gone, well, thankfully, touch wood, strength to strength, but it just started off like a rocket ship and has continued that way. So it's been great.
Amazing.
You guys have been amazing to watch for the last 2.5 years, the progression of the business, and also the sort of when I was joining the business, the sort of guidance you and Neil have given has been like the way you guys have helped out other partners, just amazing. So I think that's testament to the brand and to what you guys are doing.
Thank you, I appreciate that. No, we just want to make sure everyone does as much as they can,
I think what's been a common theme speaking to the guys today is everyone's been very much like, okay, cool, we're self-employed estate agents, we run our own businesses, our own lives, but the camaraderie and the authenticity between people, everyone's like, we just want everyone to succeed.
100%. I think we all want each other to do better and better and push each other as well, don't we? With little things like I see people's videos and I'm like, how can I make mine more like that? And vice versa, and we give each other tips. So I think we've all got a wealth of knowledge and experience, but if you combine that between how many of us there is now and how many years it is a lot.
Absolutely is. So casting your mind back nearly 3 years ago, obviously you were now a corporate agent, but an agent for a long time. You won a estate agent you worked for your whole career?
Yes.
And then you made a decision with Neil to say, right, actually we're done with this. You didn't know Ian and Mike particularly well before, is that right?
No, I knew Mike.
Yeah.
Just through we both worked for the same company before, different sections of the business completely, but we crossed paths quite a few times, so we sort of knew who each other was.
Yeah.
I suppose nothing more than that. I knew Ian Macbeth's name, but I didn't know anything more than that because
sworn enemies, weren't you?
Well, we were
blue and green.
Blue
for anyone in Berkshire, you know who that is.
It's like I wouldn't be going across that side.
What was the big key decision maker for you? Thinking you and Neil, right? Fuck it, let's do it.
Do you know what? There was loads of reasons. To be honest with you, I couldn't pinpoint it to one thing. The company I worked for, I couldn't see a path to where I wanted to get to in my own life with them.
Yeah.
And I felt there was too many blockers because of the way they did things with the people that worked for them, and also how they looked after clients, everything else. I just thought it was just not going to go anywhere. And to be quite frank with you, jumping ship to another agent wasn't something I wanted to do either, because I saw the same thing in all the other corporates. Right. Do you know what I mean? So I was just like, I didn't want to do it anymore. And I've been thinking for a while, what do I need to do? How do I do something completely separate anyway? And I know Neil was on the same lines. And it was lockdown.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we all went into proper lockdown?
Yeah. Do
March 2020.
Sunbathe in the back garden.
2020.
Beers at 12.
I was meant to go snowboarding, and it got cancelled the week before. I was holding out hope, and never happened. And then that week, I was sat at the time, I had a 1-bed apartment on my own, thinking life is sweet. And I didn't know if I was going to get paid. I didn't know how it was going to work. So I started working night shifts at Asda. So I had 2 jobs for a bit just to make sure I could pay my mortgage. And I was like, this is my opportunity to A, save some money, which I tried to do and did, and B, look at other options. And the Avocado had just started, as in sort of around, it's only 3 years ago now, but showing what they wanted to do, their vision. It was nothing.
No, it was a concept more than anything, wasn't it?
100%. And I was just like, this is what I want to do. And I just jumped straight at it.
Who messaged who first? Did you bring up to Neil, or the vice versa? Or did it kind of like Neil called you and said, I want to speak to you, and you I want to speak to you, and you sat down and went, Avocado?
Do you know what? Like, honestly, this is exactly what happened. I remember being sat at my window looking at it, and I didn't even tell anyone. I just picked up the phone and called him.
Oh, really?
Saw his number and called him. I was like, I need to know more about this. What's going on?
Wow.
Then I told Neil this is what I'm doing, and he's like, I've seen it, but Neil was same position as me, but a bit more steady, I think.
Yeah,
he was.
Yeah.
And I had the chat set up with Ian as a Zoom call.
Yeah.
Or a team meeting or wherever it was. This is where I was at life. I didn't have a laptop. My internet had broken.
Yeah.
I was like, Neil, can I use your laptop and your internet? He was like, yeah, sure. So I came over there, had a beer, and was sat in his kitchen doing it.
Yeah.
And he was upstairs, but he could hear the conversation. And Ian and Mike goes, you don't happen to have like a best mate that might be pretty good? It's just because we're thinking duos might be a good thing. And Neil was like,
the volume up.
You're like, yeah. Sorry,
Neil,
1 second. Neil!
Yeah. I was like, excuse. And I think Neil heard a lot of conversation, wanted to be involved in it. And, we're best mates and have been for a long time. And we obviously had lots of conversations about it. And to be honest with you, until we started, we were both like, one of us was like, let's do this. And the other one was like, oh, are we doing the right thing? And then I'd be like that. And we supported each other through for a few months. But then we jumped at it as soon as we could.
Yeah.
We were going to start actually.
That's a cool story, to be fair, man.
Yeah,
it's a cool story.
Yeah.
And we pulled it forward by like 4 months. We started as early as we could.
Yeah, nice.
We wanted to just go for it.
So Chris said he was partner 5. Where did you guys come in? Do you know?
You would have been
I think
3 and 4, wouldn't you?
I think 3 and 4.
Because Sanjay was...
I think Sanjay...
So it was Ian, Mike, Sanjay, then you and Neil, and then
yeah, if you
Chris.
take Ian and Mike out,
I
suppose I think Sanjay, and there was the chap called Mark.
Oh yeah.
Mark, and then I think it was me and Neil at the same time. It was a few of us of very similar timing.
Yeah,
that makes sense. Really, really close together. So there wasn't a great deal in it, but yeah, it was literally like right towards the start as we were basically talking to them as they were setting up the first people. So
amazing. It's good to hear. As I say, it's an inspirational story, and what you guys have achieved in 2.5 years is just like, it's awesome, isn't it? Like it sets the bar so high for everyone else, but it's amazing because it's been achieved now, and it just like we know we're looking at it. It'd be great if we can do £1 million in 2.5 years. It might be a little bit longer for Lauren and I, but it's definitely going to be achieved at some point.
Yeah, do you know what? Me and Neil didn't know what to expect, right? And when Avocado we all started launch together, it's grown and changed so much, and we're really proud to have been part of that. That's why we didn't want to miss out on and how we can evolve it and still keep doing that. We never set out to think we could do the figures and numbers we did. We knew we were competent people and we were good at what we did, but we were like, if we can just do enough and have a work-life balance that was more suited to what we wanted, because we were just going nowhere and doing everything under the sun before, we'd be happy. And actually, it's just because of that attitude, and I think anyone should do this, because you love what you do and you enjoy it again, it comes across, doesn't it? And it just grows and grows.
That's what we've been saying with everyone who's been in here today. Has said the conversation's been about being yourself. People like it or they don't.
Yeah.
But the people who like you will love you.
100%. You don't need to please everybody.
No.
You need to do the best job you can, of course. You're not going to go out and offend people. But the idea is that, if you're doing what you say you're going to do and you're doing it well, people are going to like that. There'll be some people that don't, but there's other options. That's a wonderful thing about the world. There's choice. As long as we're one of those choices that people want to work with and do a good job,
Well put.
Yeah.
So this part of the podcast, we've been asking people to tell us a little story, either funny story, good story, bad story, sad, whatever you want to be regarding agency. And I imagine you got a lot.
I've got so many.
Can I just ask, before we go into this, can I ask a quick question? Obviously, there's always this joke that you had with sellers that the people thought you and Neil were a couple.
Yeah, okay, fine, yeah.
Yeah, did that ever come up? Is it just a rumour, or did it ever come up? Because I've had people ask me, are they together?
Yeah, I think a few people or sellers try to assume or thought potentially, but it hasn't sort of come up in main conversation.
Because Sanjay was telling me, Ellen and Sanjay have a similar thing where like people are like, don't actually ask, but they're like, so are you and Sanjay? Like to Ellen, you're like, oh no, we're just like business partners.
Some people might assume it. We just let them run with whatever they want to think, really.
Yeah, whoever gets the business.
You know what? If it won't float your boat, but yeah.
Anyway,
we're not just for
just full clarification.
We're not lovers.
Best mates.
Exactly. No, I do love them to pieces, but yeah, we're
not in that way.
But not like that.
Anyway,
we've all got those stories throughout the years in agency where weird things, funny things, unusual things have happened. So, like, is there one story where you?
I mean, how explicit can I go?
This is actually
yeah, mate. This podcast is not for kids. We fucking swear on it all the time. We have this issue where we swear in the first 30 seconds every episode by accident,
and you fucked it.
And the algorithms, right, cool. That's why we've only got like 37 subscribers now.
Well, yeah, but there'd be 37 strong subscribers.
Yeah. They believe in us.
That's what you need. You need super fans.
Cheers, Andy. Cheers, Tom.
I've got a couple. So one, I'll tell you, to be fair, actually, a lot of these come from my older days. I haven't really anything that fun has happened, I suppose, this way around. But we show most of it on video if it does happen.
Yeah.
The first ever viewing I did, so imagine I've just started, never done a viewing on my own, and I got sent, this is like 11 years ago or so, I got sent to a house at the time which was like 750 grand. So it's a lot.
Big house.
It'd be 1.2 now, something like that.
Your first ever viewing.
First ever viewing.
Great management there. Yeah. Great management.
Just sent me out and I was just like...
Must have been cool though, first view, walking up to the house.
I rocked it. I had all my notes ready, I was prepped. Did this viewing, and the way I am is I take people around the house in every room and I want to show them, and I don't just open the door, I really show them the whole house. The seller was in and she knew I was there, she let me in. I went upstairs first, she was downstairs, came downstairs, blah, 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 she knew I was there. And I opened up the room for the downstairs toilet. Unlocked.
Yeah.
Opened up. And she was in there with her legs open mid-wipe. The couple were behind me over my shoulder. I opened the door, and you know those moments where it's like,
what'd you do?
Shit, this is last shit. I've just been looking for like 5 minutes, even though realistically it's like 1 second you slam the door. But it was like, it felt like an eternity, and it was the most awkward thing ever. And to be fair, she proceeded then afterwards to try and call and complain about me. But I was like, it wasn't my fault. You knew we were in the house. You didn't lock the door. You didn't say you were going. Why did you do that?
It's like she wanted you to.
Yeah.
This is a fresh face Salisbury turning up at 18 years old.
Imagine that if I got sacked, I'd never be here today. So it was meant to happen. Great experience. That was my first ever
mate.
viewing.
That must. I can't imagine that.
Is that image still etched in your mind?
Yeah.
You know those moments where
she had red knickers.
Did she, dude?
I still remember.
Let's go back later, didn't you?
Nah. And then I'll tell you one other one as well. So obviously no address or anything like this, but this was. We obviously deal with lots of different types of people selling, and sometimes you get people who are separating, which is quite common when you sell a house. And sometimes it's really not very amicable, where one person doesn't want to sell, the other one does, but there's a court order and they have to sell. You get the picture,
We've all been
right?
there, yeah.
So I'm doing a viewing on this 2-bed house, and the lady didn't want to leave the house, but she had to, part of the sale, but she was the one living there, Mr. wasn't, so it's a bit complicated. Yeah. And she knew we had viewings, so I've gone round, and this time she decided to just try and sabotage everything for the viewing. So not only was it messy and dirty, and left the shower steamed up and everything like the toilet seats up.
Yeah.
She proceeded to stick rubber dildos in the bathroom on the wall, so left porn magazines out. Like, it was an absolute like sex show in there. And it's not a big house, it's a small 2-bed house, and I had a young couple come in to view it with me, and I was just like, I just didn't know what to say. I was just like, you're not going to buy this, are you? They're like, no. So yeah, that viewing didn't go.
Oh mate, that must have been, because you must have seen the first one and go, oh shit, she left a dildo out, and then gone to the next room, is like, oh fuck, there's loads of them.
It's just like
it was just dicks everywhere.
It was everywhere, mate. Yeah, there was far too many dicks for my liking in that place. So yeah, it was a bit all over the place.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say exactly the same story as Carl.
That's what I thought.
Carl said he'd been in a house. It was a repossession, and the guy had smeared his own shit everywhere, every wall, every carpet. I thought that's where you're going with, but dildo sounds funnier.
I mean,
yeah, fun, and also like
you'd be imaginative. Like, fair play to her.
If I were viewing a house, I'd be able to look past the dildo if it was the right house.
Yeah, if I didn't want people to view the house, I would just lock the house on the inside and put the key in the door.
I mean, you could do that.
It'd be easier, wouldn't it?
Yeah, or just not let anyone in for viewings ever, or never answer the phone. But maybe she just jumped straight to dildos. Who knows?
Yeah, from 0 to dildo. There you go.
0 to dildo in very fast. But yeah, the house did get sold in the end.
Amazing.
And, so I don't know what she's doing now. I wonder.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Probably still with her dildos. There you go.
It is funny though, all the random scenarios we end up in.
Yeah, man. Funny stories.
Mate, honestly, I could sit here and tell you like hundreds of like crazy things that have happened. Like, just
mate, we'll have to get you on for a full episode. This is just a little snapshot for our little bonus 20th episode.
Yeah,
but, mate, we'll have to get you on properly because I'm sure we can do a whole episode of Dan Salisbury. Explicit stories in the estate agency.
Yeah,
with Dan Salisbury.
I'd have no. What you need to do is you need to get Mike Robinson in with me because we worked together for 5 years.
So you know a lot of the stories you can bounce off.
We'll be pissing ourselves laughing and crying because we still cry about most of them now. Like the stories we've got from when we worked together and all the things that happened, we'd be just crying with laughter. Even like personal things, like driving into each other's cars by mistake and all this sort of stuff. Like it's just ridiculous.
There we go.
Whilst working.
Get him on then. Get him on.
That'll be a
cool.
good podcast.
Right, well that's an episode for the future.
Absolutely.
Look forward to that one.
Love that.
Should we close that one down now?
Yeah, let's close it.
Amazing.
Let's do it. Thanks a lot.
Guys, thank you so much for listening or watching or wherever you've seen us on social media. As always, please do follow us. Links are in the description. I've been Ryan Bloomfield. This guy's been Matt Barrell. That's episode 20 done and dusted. We're back next week for 21. Cheers.